Where's it going with that? Okay, what's real? What isn't? Can you tell the difference? I can't. No, that's not what I meant to say. It's not what I meant to say.
We're out here in the beautiful Gatineau Hills. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful snowy day. And we're here to talk about Stephen Hawking.
That's that hockey player, right? Pittsburgh Penguins in 07?
Is that him?
So we've ended up where I feel I can truly be me. And I figured that the best place that I could actually get this information across to you guys is if I explain to you in the comfort of my own home. Well, my parents' home.
Stephen Hawking was... What is it again?
Smart?
That'll work. Okay. Stephen Hawking was... Would you say...
Intelligent?
The last one?
What's up, Dad? Hey. I'm filming my video. Down here.
What do you mean?
I'm filming my video.
How long are you gonna be? I wanna watch my football game. Can you film somewhere else?
No, I have to film here. British cosmologist Stephen William Hawking was born in England on January 8th, 1942. His father had wanted him to pursue medicine, but he ended up finding himself at Cambridge University in researching cosmology. Hey guys, Marcus here. So if you guys may have noticed, I wasn't at class last week, and the reason for that is because my sister accidentally deleted a solid around 5 to 8 minutes of my of this video, and I had to start from scratch, and that took me about 4 or 5 days of filming and just editing and doing a bunch of different stuff to make the video better, and it was totally wiped out. So I'm missing a lot of that information, so I just figured it was probably best if I just read it to you guys. And these are some clips of me that I didn't actually use just to have as a background. So I'm just gonna narrate for you guys and just explain some different biographical elements of Hawking's life. So here we go. In condition to Hawking's advances, when attending one of Roger Penrose's seminars in black hole theory with his group of Cambridge scholars in cosmology, Hawking came across something peculiar. On the train ride home, when adding cream to his coffee, it occurred to him that if he added Penrose's theories in black holes to the laws of the universe, he figured that if you keep in mind Einstein's theory of relativity, you could reverse the process of the universe expanding and bring it back to when it first began. He called this, and Penrose referred to this as a space-time similarity, and so did Hawking when he was pursuing his PhD. He referred to this phenomenon as the space-time similarity. So, with this, of course, it comes as a byproduct of the black hole. So he would eventually go on to form mathematics for this theory, but that would go on over a longer process after he actually finished his PhD. So when Hawking was developing a lot of his groundbreaking theories from this epiphany that he had on the train ride home from Penrose's seminar, in the development of these different ideas that he had, he had gone on a walk to one of his classes at Cambridge, and
he had just been feeling disoriented that day, and he actually had fell face first. He had just tripped, and he'd fallen face first, knocked himself completely unconscious, and when he woke up, he had been examined by a local physician, and he was actually referred to a specialist, and it was at that moment when Hawking was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Obviously, this had been a massive setback in Hawking's life, of course with the idea that he only had 2 years to live, which is what the doctor told him. And he'd been struggling with some serious depression at the time. He had, locked himself up in his dorm for 2 or 3 months, just basking in his own depression, obviously with the idea that he only had 2 years to live, which of course wasn't true, but what got him through these tough times in his life was his girlfriend Jane Wilde, and she had later on become his wife in the long run. And what I think their relationship was, in my opinion, I think is what kept Stephen going for as long as he did. So Hawking would go on to work on his theories, and he actually partnered up with Roger Penrose. This had been, of course, after reviewing his PhD, along with some other Cambridge scholars and professors. They reviewed it as a group. After reviewing his PhD, and I forgot to mention to you guys, his PhD was on time. That was the topic. So after reviewing his PhD, for the most part, they considered, the Cambridge scholars considered it as inadequate, and he posed a lot of weird questions, unanswered questions, and some weird arguments. But what was interesting about it was the 4th chapter. This was, of course, on his black holes and its presence in the beginning of time. And those were the arguments that he made in the 4th chapter were the ones that really struck them and were really the ones that stuck. So with this in mind, and a handful of very, very, very impressed Cambridge scholars, Hawking had the resource and the abilities to go on and actually mathematize these claims and theories and arguments that he had made in his PhD. And obviously this was the true struggle and work that would go on in a lot of the theories and arguments that he proved that had made their way into a lot of his novels, with actually being able to mathematize these theories. And that was the brunt of what he had worked on in the earlier stages of his career, and the early stages, obviously, of when he was battling with Lou Gehrig's disease. So, in conclusion to some of those points, I think it needs to be said that even with a lot of Hawking's unanswered questions and a lot of theories that weren't actually able to be proven or didn't lead to anything new, everything that he had done in his research, and specifically a lot of his breakthroughs in black holes, had been beneficial to the science community and further progress just as a whole worldwide, and just through and through, what he did for the science community, he had inspired so many, and it contributed to so many different advances in the science community, and just a huge inspiration to anyone really in his work ethic and his ability to believe in himself, and his belief in others, and his presence just ultimately had made the world a better place. It's difficult to put into words the kind of diversity that he actually experienced, and the only way we can really pay him back is understand who he was as a man, and celebrate the things that he's done for us, and how he's inspired so many.
To say that Hawking defied odds would be a gross understatement, because he would go on to pursue his PhD at Cambridge University and also obviously become the most famous cosmologist to have ever lived, and one of the most popular names in modern science.
Stephen Hawking. Was he real? This will be a good place, no?
Yeah, but you're gonna pay me that $20, right, to film?
Yeah.
All right.
I got you.
Over the course of his career, Hawking had studied the basic laws governing the universe. He demonstrated that Einstein's theory of relativity was actually flawed. Using the two theories together, Hawking determined that black holes are not totally dark, but they in fact emit radiation. He predicted that following the Big Bang following the Big Bang theory, black holes as tiny as protons were created and governed by both general relativity and quantum mechanics. Touch it up, swag it, but don't forget to feel it. Because if you don't feel it, you don't mean it. Hawking found out where everyone else went wrong. Well, maybe not everyone else, just Einstein, because Einstein was not going wrong to figure it out. Anyways, Hawking was able to understand where other astrophysicists and cosmologists went wrong. He essentially unlocked the mystery of the black hole, and the human race would be able to study them from that point forward. I'm so sorry. There's something wrong with my brain. He suggested that black holes emit radiation. And that was where he went right.
Tell me it's good.
Black holes, similar to the stream, the water flows. The water's wet, the water's
Dude,
moving.
what are you talking about?
No, I was talking about black holes though.
But what about the water is black holes? What?
To touch on black holes, Hawking's black hole theories, actually his work suggested that a black hole can never get smaller, specifically that the surface area of its spherical event horizon, the point beyond which nothing can escape, could never decrease. The second law of thermodynamics holds that the entropy or disorder of a closed system can never go down. Hawking's most successful books, well, one could argue his most successful book, was the very first book that he released, and this book was called A Brief History of Time, released in 1998 approximately. Nope, that's not true. 1988. I'm sorry. Hawking aimed to communicate questions about the birth and death of the universe itself. So this would be constructed in a way that his theories and the different things that he would talk about would make sense to the average non-science or science goer who didn't have the vast knowledge and communication skills to go about understanding it themselves. He wrote the book in a way that the average person could just pick it up and understand, which that was the main focus of the book. Here's some quotes by the man himself, so I can give you guys kind of a picture of the kind of things that was going on in this beautiful mind. All of my life, I've been fascinated by the big questions that face us, and have tried to find scientific answers to them. If, like me, you have looked at the stars and tried to make sense of what you see, you too have started to wonder what makes the universe exist. That's real. That's real.
Okay. So, dude, I'm gonna need you to help me to help me film for something. I can't tell you what it is,
Yeah.
but I'll give you $20.
I can help you.
and-
I know you do it for me. I know you do the same for me, so I'll help you out, man.
All right, man. All right.